Good afternoon and welcome to Pakistan Today from our Islamabad studio. I'm Chris Taylor. NATO leaders are expected to declare that Iran must never obtain a nuclear weapon, according to a draft summit statement seen by Reuters. The draft also calls on Iran to fully respect freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important energy shipping routes. At next week's NATO summit in Ankara, alliance leaders, including U.S. President Donald Trump, are expected to reaffirm their commitment to collective defense under Article 5 of the NATO treaty. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has questioned the role of the United States Central Command, or CENTCOM, in regional security. In a post on social media platform X, Araghchi said CENTCOM had brought insecurity rather than stability to the region. He argued that Iran's armed forces had demonstrated that outside powers could not guarantee security, adding that lasting peace in the region could only be achieved through inclusive cooperation free from foreign interference. Staying with developments in the region, Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf says the United States must recognize what he described as the Middle East's new realities following the recent conflict involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. Speaking during talks with Uzbekistan's parliamentary speaker, Ghalibaf said changing regional conditions could create opportunities for stronger trade ties and potentially support efforts toward easing sanctions. He also expressed hope that joint management of the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz by Iran and Oman would improve regional transit and commercial cooperation. In Lebanon, President Joseph Aoun says the country's ceasefire agreement with Israel does not legitimize the continued occupation of Lebanese territory. President Aoun stressed that Lebanon remains committed to defending its sovereignty while pursuing long-term stability. Officials say more than 600,000 displaced Lebanese have now returned to their homes following the ceasefire, marking an important milestone in the country's recovery after months of conflict. Turning to Pakistan's diplomatic engagements, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has arrived in Turkey after attending the funeral of senior Iranian leaders, continuing Islamabad's regional diplomatic outreach. During his visit, the Prime Minister is expected to hold talks with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on expanding bilateral trade, investment, and defense cooperation, as well as regional security issues. The two leaders are also expected to exchange views on developments in the Middle East and discuss ways to further strengthen the long-standing strategic partnership between Pakistan and Turkey. On the economic front, Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb says the government will introduce a medium-term tax strategy within the next 6 months aimed at providing businesses with greater certainty and encouraging long-term investment. Speaking in Faisalabad, the finance minister said Pakistan is moving toward an automated and data-driven tax system designed to reduce discretionary powers and improve transparency. He added that digital monitoring has already boosted tax collection in sectors including sugar, cement, and textiles. The government says the focus will remain on improving enforcement rather than imposing major new taxes, with reforms expected to be introduced gradually over the next 1 to 2 years. And finally, the federal government has announced a reduction in fuel prices, lowering both petrol and high-speed diesel by 1 rupee and 97 paisas per liter, with immediate effect until the 10th of July. Petrol will now be sold at 297 rupees and 53 paisas per liter, while high-speed diesel has been set at 309 rupees and 50 paisas per liter. Officials say the reduction reflects lower international oil prices, although an increase in the petroleum levy prevented a larger cut. According to government estimates, petrol prices could otherwise have fallen by around 11 rupees per liter. Fuel prices continue to play a significant role in determining transport costs and inflation across Pakistan. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today. I'm Chris Taylor.